Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Smitty, and today I'm going to be bringing you a guide for Beastmaster Hunter for the Mage Tower in Legion Timewalking. So once you complete the encounter, you get this really nice Tomb of Sargeras reskin. I think it looks pretty good. I really like the eyeball. It's pretty sweet Mog. But if you want to look like a badass, we got to talk about a few key points. So first of all, I want to point out kind of my ideal for what gear to wear. So it doesn't really matter as long as it's over item level 50 because it's going to be scaled down to that item level. So I prefer to play with items that have multiple stats instead of just two. In this case, like a Heart of Azeroth is a great example with crit, haste, and mastery. Verse is good. I actually really like haste for most of the Mage Tower encounters just because it's so nice to build cast things faster. So secondly, we talk about consumables. Really, you don't need them for the Beastmastery Mage Tower, in my humble opinion. It's more of a marathon, not a sprint for this fight. So as long as you're just getting all your interrupts and stuff like that, you're killing things when they need to be killed. Like there's no real hard damage checks on this particular challenge. So next, let's talk about talents. So this is a Wildhead guide. I'll link it in the description box below. But we'll go through these. So Animal Companion I think is really good. Honestly, it's incredible for if your pet gets killed, if a cast gets off, you can at least like have the ability to revive and then misdirect to your pet. Scent of Blood, just more damage. This, always take Natural Mending. It's actually really nice, and I use this several times during the encounter. If you play super clean, you won't need this at all, but why not? Why not have a little extra insurance? Thrill the Hunt, just damage. 40 row, doesn't really matter what you run. I'd say Binding Shot, this one's pretty worthless. Born to be Wild, Post Haste, either one of those will do. And then I ran Stomp and Aspect of the Beast as well. Honestly, you could just run exactly this and be good to go. So next, let's go ahead and dive right into the actual kill clip. So there's a couple main bosses here. You see on the left, you see Yormog, and on the right, you see Tugar. So the big thing with Tugar is you have to interrupt every cast. It's pretty much a one-shot. So the key to doing this is to use your regular interrupt and then also to ice trap. See, I get hit by shit all the time. I'm a bad player. But you just ice trap them, see, like right there for that. And the thing you want to do is realize which is on cooldown. And specifically, if the cooldown is on your interrupt, it's very smart to be close to him so you don't have much travel time for your frost trap. So you'll see me most of this fight just being really close to him. Those X's on the floor last a long time, so you got plenty of time to move. And you see he cast Jormog. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. He casts something that needs to be interrupted, and that can be easily interrupted with Scare Beast. So what I did was just create a mouse over macro. See, I get hit by it because I'm bad. And you can just hover the actual mob, or on the right where I had my boss bars, I could have done that as well. That's probably actually a better bet. These little ads will spawn, but they're not that important. That Fell Surge is important. So it lasts for about 6 or 7 seconds. It's just one shot. You just need to swap over to it. Nothing really major there. You just cycle through your cooldowns. You're just chilling, making sure you're like pretty close to Tugar when you need to use a frost trap. Also, I do want to point out, you see the rocks on the ground. You do need to be running Jormog whenever he targets you and does his charge. You want to be between a rock and him, so he'll hit the rock. You see he's got 6 stacks here. You want to get him to 0 so he takes full damage, and that's pretty important. So really, that's most of the fight. I will say it is important, however, once you get to later in the fight, to go ahead and start bringing Tugar close to the other boss. That way you can kind of cleave him down. Once you kill Tugar, Jormog, Joma, they got such funny names. Jormog enrages and starts hitting you pretty hard. You'll see at the end of my kill, like I want to say I have a fair amount of health left. I actually have a pretty bad lust timing, but I will say that you should be lusting after you kill Tugar. Blood Totem is my main target. Whenever that enrage is going off, you just want to build. You could technically kill Tugar first and then burst. Like, I'm gonna take another one. So it's pretty forgiving. I think I lust here because what I'm doing, and I will encourage you to do, is run your leech pet. Like, as you can see, my pet pretty much takes like no damage. So as long as you interrupt everything, your pet's gonna live. So I literally just lusted here for the leech because I wanted to get some extra damage out so I could start regenerating some HP. But the encounter is pretty forgiving. It's just a lot of moving parts, a lot of things going on. It's kind of like just Beast Mastery, just keep it moving, right? This one took me, I think I'm going to miss it again. No, I got it that time. This one took me about 8 attempts. It wasn't that difficult, mainly because your pet, your pets just do all the work. It's pretty relaxed. I did run a on-use haste trinket to pair with my cooldowns, but honestly, as long as you do the mechanics well, you're never going to die. Just the passive leech you get from your pets and the natural mending, you just, like, there's no way you'll ever die as long as you always get that interrupt. I will say also, I didn't do it because I like to focus on just a few things, but you can also use your pet stun is really good here for if you have a problem getting an interrupt, which is honestly probably the best thing to do whenever, if Tugar is casting at the same time as Jormog, then it's probably best to use your pet stun on Tugar and then go ahead and scare Beast on Jormog. I will say this, whenever Jormog first comes up, you can pretty much always know when he's going to be casting his thing, because as soon as he comes out of the ground, like a second or two later, he's going to be casting it. So that for me was like a good indicator, like, oh, I see him pop up, I need to be actively thinking about using my Scare Beast on him. You could probably do a bit better job than me setting up the charges, but honestly, it's not a great big deal. I could have optimized this fight a lot better. I just didn't have any pulls. I haven't played Beast Mastery Hunter since BFA, so your mileage may vary. Likely, if you know, you're probably much better than me at BM Hunter anyway. So right there was a great example why it was important to be close, because I thought I had interrupt, but I didn't. But I was still able to get my frost trap off in time because there wasn't much travel time. Now that I have only 1 stack left on them, I'm going to try to do some cleave damage here. Honestly, if you could, the best thing to do would be to bring them both down at the same time, but that's pretty difficult to do. And the fight just gets a lot easier once Tugar is down. You pretty much don't have to worry about anything after that. Like the way you usually die in this encounter is you miss one of the totems, you don't kill it, that fell surge, or you miss an interrupt. Getting hit by stuff coming from the sky hurts pretty bad too, but it's not too bad. Oh, sorry about that. There we go. As you can see here, I got Tugar pretty low. Pretty soon I'm going to be focusing him down and then pushing all my damage into Jormog, I don't know. As long as you always just get that 2 guard cast, you're gonna be golden. Get the totem. It's got 2 HP. I mean, you literally just literally any ability will kill it, so it's not a big deal. It's those little overlaps right there that make it somewhat difficult. I'm trying, as you see there, Jormog's only up for a short period of time, so when he is up and he doesn't have stacks, I'm trying to prioritize getting some damage on him, just so I got less to burst through at the end, especially considering in this attempt I had already used Lust just to replenish HP. Which, I mean, really isn't what you want to be doing, but you know, if you guys have an oh shit like moment like me, or get hit by a mechanic, get low, it's probably better to pop Lust and see if you can continue the pull instead of just forfeiting the pull. I'm trying to get some more damage down before 2-guard dies, but at this point I'm just like, fuck it, I'm just going to kill him, because Jormog will stay up after that. Now he's enraged. Now it's really important that you get those scared beasts off, and you're going to see on this one later. I mean, it's not a great big deal, especially considering I still had my heal up. But this is the point. If you did bring pots, and I would suggest Potion of Unbridled Fury is really good for these challenges, would be time to Lust and use your pot here. So I miss it. Now it's just an all-out race for me to kill this guy. Luckily, I'm doing a little passive healing and get him down quite easily. So if you're struggling with this, I'd like to hear. Let's fucking go, baby. Pretty happy about that kill, yeah? So if you're struggling with this, I'd like to hear about what struggle points you have, and hopefully I can provide you some additional tips in the comment section below. Also, what guy would you like to see next? I have completed 5 Mage Tower challenges. What would you like to see? Drop that in the comment section below. And lastly, if you like this video, like and subscribe. And there will be a link to my Twitch in the comment section below. So I appreciate you watching. Thanks and take care.